Mayor, I just want to say the last time I saw you speak in person was January 6th. I just want to say thank you for being a patriot.
Picked up by the FBI would get arrested.
I've been dealing with that for a while. As soon as I went to the White House, my Twitter account got
The
suspended.
troopers are coming again.
So it's okay. So my real question to you is this. The first person who ever said President Trump was President Obama in 2011, his White House Correspondents' Dinner. In 2015, when we had the biggest Republicans running of all time, Rubio, Cruz, Jeb Bush, only one person was named by Barack Obama. That was Trump. He said his name, only his. The reason I'm bringing this up, is it possible that Barack Obama propped Trump up by mentioning his name over and over? And right now, about 3-4 weeks ago, well maybe 2 months ago, number one guy was DeSantis. All of a sudden there's investigations going on. Now they're taking Trump and trying to put him in, indicting him. Is it possible they want him and they're propping him up again?
Who? Trump?
Well, let's be serious. Biden isn't running the country. Barack Obama's running the country.
Yeah, that's probably
This is Barack Obama's third term, and guess what? His fourth term is going to be Michelle Obama or Big Mike, whatever you want to call it.
But I think that
That dude was drinking before this or something.
I've always thought Obama's intelligence was exaggerated.
Oh my.
I used to count the number of times he said in a sentence when he wasn't reading a teleprompter. It's extraordinary. He never released any of his records. He's the only editor of a law review who never wrote anything. Ever. The way you get a voted editor of a law review is it's based on the notes that you write as a staff member of the law review. And he got on the law review without being in the top 10% of his class. And he became the editor without writing anything. And so I'm not sure he would plot it out that carefully. I also think that that's the dumbest thing in the world, to try to engineer the candidate of the other party, and it backfires on you so often. It's a waste of time.
But if you would be a shadow president, wouldn't you want someone who's weak? Not only from a Republican standpoint, but even Democrats think this guy's weak.
Who
We're talking about Biden. If we have a shadow president like Barack Obama,
I think
president?
Biden was selected for two reasons. He's about the only guy at the time that could paint as a moderate, which was totally ridiculous. He was never a moderate. He was just stupid. And number two, he was even if he wasn't completely senile then, he's always a guy that could be easily manipulated. So yeah, I do think that Obama went along with Biden because they could manipulate him. I don't think he was Obama's first choice. I think actually, believe it or not, I think Harris was his first choice until she fell apart. Harris was definitely Soros' first choice because Soros funded Harris in the primary before he gave any money to Biden. I just don't really think that the strategy is as clear as you think. I think they want to get rid of Trump, and they'll get rid of him any way they can, because no matter how calculating you are, if you succeed in getting Trump the Republican nomination, he can become president. The only way you can be sure he's not going to be president is make sure he doesn't get the Republican nomination. Then he can't be president. So you got to try to stop. If you really believe you got to stop Trump, you got to try to stop him at both places. You got to try to stop him from getting the nomination, which is why I think they want the trial in January, just when the primaries. If you look at when they asked for the trial, they're not going to finish the motions until December. It's unrealistic to have a trial in January if you're going to go all the way to December. They asked for the trial in January. Take a look at the date for the New Hampshire primary, the Iowa caucuses, the now California primary. They're all in late January and the month of February. Great time to have him on trial. That's not going to help him get the nomination, no matter what, if he's on trial and he can't campaign.
After he got indicted, his ratings went
Yeah,
way up.
that's
way
one
up.
thing. It's one thing to have your numbers go up. It's another thing not to be able to campaign in New Hampshire. You're not going to win in New Hampshire if you don't campaign.
Well, that's
They
what-
expect to see you 4 times.
We got to move on, brother. This is great. Stick around. We got to move on. One last person on the general side, and thank you for that. That was fantastic. You sound like you're definitely voting for Biden, but let's get somebody.